You know, every single product you own, from your phone to your coffee mug, has been on an absolutely epic journey. And right now, that journey is a constant, high-stakes battle between incredible new technology and the sheer chaos of our modern world.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that ought to wake you up: 76%. In 2024, a staggering 76% of European shippers hit major supply chain disruptions. We're talking more than 3 out of every 4 companies running into a wall. This isn't just a little hiccup, This is the new normal, and it is volatile.
And that really brings us to the heart of the matter for today's explainer. Can we actually code our way out of this mess? On one side, you've got the tech optimists, who are all in on things like AI and the Internet of Things, connecting everything to the web. But on the other side, you have the realists, the people on the ground who say, hey, no amount of software is going to stop a hurricane or a trade war. So let's break it down.
All right, first up, let's hear the case for a tech-powered future. For years, the big idea was just-in-time everything. Keep your inventory super lean, cut costs to the bone. The problem? It created a system that was incredibly brittle, with absolutely zero room for error. The folks who believe in the smart chain say we can now engineer our way out of that problem, using tech to build a supply chain that's not just fast, but almost unbreakable.
And now look at this chart. The thing that should just jump right out at you is the speed of this change. I mean, look at that jump in AI adoption among tech vendors, from 44% to a projected 71% in just 2 years. That's not a gradual shift. It's an all-out sprint. The industry is placing a massive bet on artificial intelligence.
And believe me, it is a massive bet. We're talking serious money here. The market for smart ports alone is expected to hit $75 billion by 2030. You're already seeing this with huge projects like Huawei's intelligence systems that are automating port operations. This isn't just a software update. It's a complete, capital-intensive overhaul of our global trade infrastructure. So, what's the payoff for all that cash? Well, the numbers are pretty compelling. We're seeing pilot programs and major reviews suggesting that AI can make supply chains 45% more effective at the one thing that truly matters: getting products where they need to go, on time and without any mistakes. So for the tech advocates, this isn't just about being faster. It's about building in a level of precision and reliability we've never had before.
And here's a perfect example of how they're doing it: the digital twin. Just imagine having a perfect, live, virtual copy of your entire supply network running on a computer. You could throw a simulated hurricane at it or a sudden port closure and see what happens, all without a single real-world package being delayed. It's basically like having a crystal ball for logistics, and it's a huge part of this move toward what they call Industry 5.0, where human experts get these incredible technological superpowers.
But hold on a second. Just when that tech utopia starts to sound like a sure thing, the pragmatists, the people in the front lines, step in with a major reality check. Their argument is simple. Tech is powerful, yeah, but the world is a whole lot more powerful.
And this is the key point, right? It's all about context. The most brilliant algorithm on Earth can't stop a trade war. A perfect digital twin can't divert a real-life hurricane. Risk analysts who do this for a living consistently put things like geopolitical tension, extreme weather, and labor shortages at the top of the threat list. The realists are arguing that the biggest dangers are completely outside the control of any one piece of tech.
This is fascinating. This chart shows where academic research on logistics comes from, but it actually reveals a huge hidden risk: dependency. You can see right here that a massive chunk of that expertise, 67% in this case, comes from just one region. When your knowledge base, and more importantly, your manufacturing is that concentrated, a single shock in that one area can send crippling shockwaves across the entire planet.
And what about the tech itself? Well, let's be honest, not every big idea pans out. Remember blockchain? A few years ago, it was going to be the ultimate solution for tracking everything. But look at what actually happened. Vendor adoption completely cratered. It's a really good reminder that a technology can sound amazing on paper, but completely fail to stick the landing in the messy, complicated real world.
And beyond all the hype, you have these huge practical roadblocks. First, the cost to get into this new tech is sky high. Second, cybersecurity is a massive, and I mean massive, blind spot. It's shocking, but only 13% of companies actually check if their suppliers have decent cyber defenses. And the foundation of it all? Data. Bad data is costing the average company almost $13 million a year. That completely undermines the very AI systems that are supposed to be saving them.
Okay, so we've got these two really strong but totally conflicting arguments. Is tech the hero here, or is it just a shiny, expensive distraction? Well, the smartest thinking on this is the answer isn't either or, it's both and. The future is all about creating a hybrid chain, one where you use that amazing tech to pull off a smarter, more resilient strategy. This slide really lays out the whole mental shift. For decades, it was all about maximum efficiency, which gave us that brittle, just-in-time system. The new goal? Maximum resilience. And that means you have to make some trade-offs. You trade those old razor-thin margins for a much tougher approach. You accept higher costs up front for things like keeping more inventory on hand, or finding a second regional supplier, because you know it's going to create stability down the road. So how do you actually do this? Well, here's the playbook. First, you have to diversify your suppliers so you don't have that single point of failure. Second, you use tech platforms to get total visibility of your entire chain, from start to finish. Third, you've got to invest in people. You need a team that actually understands modern data and IT. And finally, you use AI, but not as some magic wand. You use it strategically, aiming it at very specific, high-value problems like analyzing geopolitical risk.
I really love this quote. It just completely reframes the whole conversation. Resilience isn't just about building a wall to keep bad things from happening. It's an active skill. It's about building a system that can take a punch, learn from it, adapt, and actually get stronger. And in today's market, that is a massive competitive advantage. It's not just an insurance policy anymore.
So all of this brings us right to this moment. The last few years have basically been a giant global stress test for every company on the planet, forcing them to rethink everything. The real test, though, is what they do now. Do they actually make these deep, strategic changes, or do they just slide back into the old, fragile way of doing things?
So if there is one single thing you take away from this explainer, let it be this. The debate is over. It is not about choosing tech or strategy. The absolute key is that the winning companies will be the ones that use technology to execute a resilient strategy. The tech is the tool that brings the strategy to life. It can't ever replace it.
And that leaves us with one last pretty urgent question. Remember, your supply chain is only as strong as its weakest digital link. And with so few companies, only 13%, even bothering to check their partner's security, the front door is wide open for a catastrophic attack. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. As we look ahead, is your supply chain truly cyber resilient?